Hey guys, we're going to do a quick little video over the Ozonics HR600, and then as you guys can see, the HR500 there. I used HR500 there last year, and they came out with HR600 there in 2024. Both going to be phenomenal products there, but there are some pretty big comparisons. So kind of give you guys a backstory of me. I started off with the HR200, moved to the 300, then the 500, now the 600 there. And the biggest mature deer I've harvested using that 500 was a 160-inch 8-point. Harvested numerous other deer utilizing those Ozonics units there, and I'll get more into strategy-wise here in a minute, but I want to briefly talk about what we've actually got with the HR600. It's going to be a drastic change from that 500 there. It does have a top intake there, as you guys can see, and basically what that does is actually makes that whole unit quiet, or I guess more quiet than what that 500 is. That 500 is pretty quiet, but I can tell that there is a substantial difference in the noise with that 600 there compared to that 500. So I really look forward to seeing that. It does have more, I guess it's a longer unit there, as you guys can see, not as wide as what that 500 is. The typical units there that I've done in the past have been a wider, but really look forward to seeing what this brings to the table. I think it's going to be really utilized in a lot of different directions, especially when you're swinging that and you're in kind of a tighter spot at times there. I think it's really going to be beneficial. The battery life has actually been increased there, and I can't remember what these, I want to say these HR500s, the XL, I've got the XL and then the backup just standard one. I want to say that one was up to like 8 or 10 hours there. And then the standard one was like just a one sit kind of a deal, so 4 or 5 hours, you know, depending on what your settings are there. But the new unit here, with that new battery, it's actually as you guys can see, it's a wider, thinner battery there, and it is going to be lasting on standard up to 13 hours. Another great addition I really love that they did is they actually have a plug in here, so you can actually keep that battery in the unit while you're charging there, and it should really work out good. Most of the accessories should work, if not all of them. I know this right here, that little sleeve that was on top of that, I think that that's going to be a great addition, having it as a black unit there going forward, because that was one of my big deals, is I didn't like that tan necessarily showing up there, so I got that cover for it, and that worked out pretty good there. But as far as I can tell, I think that is going to fit right there in that bag. If you guys are rolling with those bags there from the past, I think you're going to be set there. And again, the attachments same as always there. You got your little screw-in thing here. You know, it's going to fit in there with an Allen wrench, and then you've got your standard screw-in stake there that fits right along there, and then you guys are fitting that up in the unit, and you guys are ready to rock and roll. So nothing's really changed in regards to accessory wise there, but the unit overall has got some pretty cool features there. So we got the battery life, so you do have 20% more ozone covering there, so even better. Again, HR500 rock solid unit, but if I can get more, I want more, kind of a deal. So the next thing is going to be the actual red light. So to start this unit, as you guys can see, the controls are actually going to be at the bottom here. So hopefully you guys can kind of see this thing going through there. It kind of works from standard, boost, hyper, then dry. And as you guys saw there, there's 2 red lights. So you can manually change this thing, and then that goes to boost. You press it again, hyper, and then dry. And then if you want to turn those on, those red lights, you got a little button there. Really works out good. The coolest thing, you know, about the 500 introduction was when they implemented the app alongside, and that was the first time that Ozonics had got that. And same concept there. You just turn your location on there, Bluetooth directly to it, and actually, yeah, see that that's on. You can barely hear it. I mean, that is such a great feature. I'm so impressed with how quiet that unit is there. And then we'll kind of walk through the app. So you've got the same settings there, very user friendly, where you're just pressing your button depending on what setting you guys want to use. And then we'll walk through the different settings there. So dry, dry, when they actually have a dry wash bag, so if you guys want to utilize that for your clothing or boots or whatever, you guys can put that in an actual bag in there, and basically it just ozones that entire clothing and boots and socks, whatever else you guys got in their backpacks. And then your standard there, so basically if you're going to be hunting in a blind, redneck or whatever you guys have got, that's typically what I'm going to be using for on the standard. And what I'll do is, as that wind, so let's say that wind is coming from the northwest, so it would be hitting your northwest window. I'm going to actually open that northwest window up, and then I'm also going to open up the southeast window, so I let that wind take all my scent through that blind. It'll hit that Ozonics. I'll put it right there at that southeast window, and it'll transition right out there. And I've actually had deer less than 5 yards from the blind utilizing this thing, or the 500 there for that example, and that they don't. It covers your entire scent. So the going forward from there, you do have a boost. So anytime you're hunting out of a tree stand, or really a tree, whether you're saddle hunting or climber, millennium tree stand, whatever you guys are rolling with, you got the boost there. And then hyper boost, a lot of times I'll find myself, if I'm up there on a lot of the ridge tops, or really in open areas such as Kansas, and it's really windy outside, that's where I'm really going to use that hyper boost there. Another avenue to really get you going is, let's say your target deer is actually in sight there, or another target deer is approaching there. You can always click on your little app there, hyper boost, and that way you kind of turn it off and on without a whole lot of movement there. So I'll get into a quick little story of how I've been successful with these. I've harvested numerous bucks with these units there. Can't say enough about them. There's gonna be some negative comments out there, but really until you utilize these units and understand how to use them, and they're not hard to figure it out. So once you buy these things, figure that thing out, you're gonna be rock solid for a long time. I think it's really gonna pay off. But I did harvest a 160-inch 8 last year, and a lot of the reason why I was successful with that hunt after my scouting was actually that unit, that HR600. And I ended up coming in there with a saddle, had never hunted in there before, and I knew there was that main trail system. I'd actually seen that deer jump the fence the night before going into the beans, and so I snuck in there early afternoon, got in there, got the saddle up there, got the HR600, and it wasn't 4 or 5 minutes after I got set up with the camera gear and everything, I actually started having deer come from the north side there. So I had a southwest wind, and so basically with that I had it pointing towards the northeast, northeast direction. And anytime I'm hunting, I'm gonna be taking thermals and wind 100%, and that's going in, out, and during your hunt. So definitely play that wind, play those thermals the best you can. I utilize these units for a backup there, because I've never once found myself in a situation where I can't have a deer come from. So with that, I actually had 3 or 4 deer that had made their way out, and they kind of stopped, and they smelled around a little bit, and then they just transitioned right into the beans like nothing was wrong or anything. And it's just a testament of just how strong and how good these units can cover you there. And then about 7:30, that big 160-inch 8 came through there, punched him out there, and found him the next morning in the beans, last place I had seen him. So again, HR600, phenomenal unit there. It does have the red, so if you're setting up in your tree stand, you're blind, you need that extra light, all you just click that thing on there. It also allows you to do that through the app. It really works out great. And again, HR600, depending on what you guys have available to spend, both great units there. And so hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Like always, best luck on your upcoming hunt.